Today for our nice slow stretch class, we're going to start on our backs. You can just be flat on your back. You can also bring the soles of your feet together and open out your knees wide to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. Or if you have a block, you can take a little restorative back bend. Just relax into the block, bring the knees pointing up towards the sky. Open up your feet a little bit, let your knees fall in towards each other. And then slide your block right underneath your back. Close your eyes here. Relax into the ground. Start to focus on your breath. Feeling your chest rising and falling with each breath. Feel your back push against the floor as you breathe in, and feel that gentle release of pressure on each exhale. Start to find your yoga breath, your ujjayi breath. This is a nice loud breath inside of your head. Constrict your throat just a little bit. Almost like you're fogging up a mirror with your lips sealed, like a ha sort of a feeling right in the back of the throat. And just listen to the breath. Let the sound of your breath fill your mind, pushing away all other thoughts. Let go of anything that happened earlier today. Don't worry about your plans for later, and just be here, now, present, in this moment, inside of your body. Start to do a body scan. There's no need to change anything. We're just checking in, taking stock before we begin to move around. From the crown of your head, work your way through your face muscles into the back of your neck. Across the shoulders, down your arms, into your elbows, wrists, and fingers. Move down through your spine, upper, middle, and lower back, and then into your hips, and down through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through each body part, just make a note of anything that feels off today. Remind yourself of any injuries, old or new, so that you can take those into account as you're moving through the postures. And remember that you can always take a rest if that's what your body's asking for, or find a way to modify any pose in a way that's right for you. Most importantly, meet your body where it is, here, now, in this moment. And make this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being present inside of your body. Keep your eyes open. If you have a block underneath your back, lift your hips up and just slide that block out. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, lift your forehead up to your knees, curling into a tight little ball, squeezing everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Find your kneecaps with your hands and start to do some gentle circles in the sky. Feel a nice massage on your lower back. And make circles going the other way. Drop your feet down to the mat. We're going to come into a bridge pose here. 3 times with the breath. Put your hands flat on the mat so your middle fingers are just touching the backs of the heels. As you breathe in, rooting down through the feet, push your hips up, lifting the hips toward the sky. Exhale, lowering down, nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time, back to the mat. 2 more times with the breath. Inhaling to lift. Exhale, gently lowering back down. And last one. Open out your arms wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a big breath in here. As you breathe out, gently drop your knees down together towards the right. You can find a block here and set that block underneath your right knee. If your knees don't feel comfortable going all the way to the ground, you can just drop them all the way to the floor. Try to keep a 90-degree angle on the knees and the hips. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the legs stay down, and bring the gaze over to your left hand. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Exhale, dropping them down towards the left. Sorry, I'm just going to move the little thing with the mic. All the way to the floor. 90-degree angle on the knees and hips. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help them stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand to complete your twist. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. And let's make our way to a seat. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees. Rock and roll on your back a few times, forward and back, right along the spine. And come all the way up to a seat. Easy pose, kind of like sitting cross-legged. If it's accessible to you, try to open up your knees and feet so that both knees and both feet are touching the ground. If they're still overlapping, that's okay too. You can also find a block here and sit on it, raising the hips up just a little bit. Might make things a little more comfortable. Folding forward over the feet. Inhale, lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Try to keep your spine really long as you go down. Stretch your fingertips out. Once you find your edge, round out through the back and relax your forehead down towards the ground. Don't worry about how far down you get here. Just listen to your body. Find that edge. We're always looking for the edge in yoga. Every single pose has its own edge. And that edge is going to change every day depending on how you feel. You want to make sure that you're not quite at the edge, just a little bit back from the edge so that you don't hurt yourself. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Float your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale into a twist towards the right. I'm going to mirror you here, so I'm doing the opposite side. Right hand crosses over the left hand crosses over the right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine. Exhale, go deeper into your twist. Come back up to center, breathing in, hands float up. Exhale, twisting around to the left, left fingertips behind you. Right hand crosses over the left knee. Inhale, stretching the spine up. Exhale, bend your elbows, go deeper into the twist. Come back to center, breathing in, hands come up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Reach down and grab whichever leg is in front. Cradle that leg with the same arm. Take your opposite hand and interlace your fingers in between your toes. And then start to do some gentle circles. Just getting the blood moving through the toes and the ankle. Giving your foot a nice little massage. And find circles going the other way. Release that foot down, switch sides, grab the other leg. Cradle the leg with the same arm. You can hold the heel in your hand. Interlace your fingers in between the toes. And do some nice gentle circles here. Give your foot a little bit of love. Making sure you find circles going in both directions. And release your foot down so that your legs are crossed the opposite way with this second foot coming in front now. It's going to feel a little bit awkward. That's okay. One more time, folding over the feet. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, fold forward, nice and slow, hinging from the hips, really long spine going down. Find your edge, round out through the back and relax your forehead down. Just notice how this might feel different on the other side with your legs crossed the other way. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, bring your hands all the way up. Exhale, side stretch down to the right. Plant your right hand on the floor beside you. Walk your fingers out. And let your left arm come arcing overhead. Once again, don't worry about how far you get down. Listen to your body. Let your body tell you when to stop. You might feel this stretch most intensely on the left side. You might feel it elsewhere. Just make a note of how it feels. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up, coming to center. Exhale, side stretch toward the left. Left hand comes down to the floor. Walk your fingers out. Let your right arm come arcing overhead. And come back to center on your next inhale. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Release your hands down to your lap. Do some gentle circles with the neck. These can be big or small, faster or slower, whatever feels right. You can imagine that you're leading the circles with the crown of the head or with the chin. And find circles going the other way. I think it's really funny, my neck makes different noises depending on which way I'm turning it around. Lift your head back up to center and make your way to your hands and knees tabletop. You can roll over your legs or you can swing them around to the side. Coming into cat-cow here. Always going with the breath. Wrists come right below the shoulders. Knees are right below the hips. Inhale, belly drops down. Roll the shoulders back. Bring your gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing your spine up towards the ceiling. Relax the head and neck down. And drop the gaze through the knees. Keep moving like that. Always going with your breath at your own pace. Try to lengthen your breath and lengthen your motion to match the breath. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's make our way to thread the needle. Lift your right arm high. Take a deep breath in, stacking the shoulders. Stretch your fingers up. Exhale, send your right arm through, underneath the left. Coming to rest on the right shoulder and the right cheek. With your left hand, you can crawl your fingertips forward, getting a nice stretch through the arm. You can also wrap that left hand back behind you, over your back, reaching towards the right hip. Or you can just leave your hand where it was and drop your elbow down to the mat. If you want a bit of a challenge here, you can lift your left leg up. This is sort of a balance challenge. If you feel wobbly, just drop that left elbow back down to the mat. That'll help you stabilize. Push through your heel, flex your toes. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, drop your left knee back down to the mat. Bring your left hand right next to your face. Unwind on a breath in, pushing through the left hand. Lift your right arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set your right hand back down on the mat. Switching sides. Left arm comes up. Deep breath in, stacking the shoulders, stretch the fingers. Exhale, send your left arm through, underneath the right. And come to rest on the left shoulder and the left cheek. We got the same options with the right arm. You can crawl your fingertips forward, get a nice stretch to that right arm. You can wrap your right hand up and over, reaching towards the left hip. Or you can just leave your right hand where it was and release your right elbow down to the mat. If you want that little extra challenge here, lift your right leg high, push through the heel, flex your toes. Remember, if you ever feel wobbly, just drop your right elbow back down to the mat. One more big breath in here. Exhale, release, drop your right knee back down to the mat. Bring your right hand right next to your face to unwind on a breath in. Lifting your left arm high. Give your wrist a couple turns. And set that hand back down. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up. You can move around a little bit in your down dog. For most of my students, I found that coming into down dog from the hands and knees tabletop here, where your knees are under the hips and your wrists are under the shoulders. If you tuck your toes and lift your hips up, that's just about the right distance between the hands and the feet. But that's going to vary depending on how your body is proportioned. We're all different. So just play around here. Find that spot where you feel the ground is really supporting you. Hands and feet are both about hip-width distance apart. Fingers are open nice and wide. Push down through the pads at the ends of the fingers and the curve at the bottom of the palm. You can have a little micro bend in your knuckles, almost like you're gripping the mat. Heels are reaching towards the floor, but they don't need to touch. Just going in that direction. Shoulders sliding down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Head and neck just dangling down towards the ground. You can pedal out your legs, bend one knee and the other down towards the ground. Lift your right heel high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between the hands and drop the left knee down to the mat. Rising up on an inhale, make your way to low lunge. You can always find your balance with your hands on your knee to start. When you're ready, inhale, lifting the hands up, turn the pinkies and keep the shoulders moving down the back. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, twisting towards the right. Left hand drops across the right knee, and the right arm is reaching back. Maybe you can line up your right arm with your back leg. Maybe it's just reaching towards that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, release, plant your hands down, framing the front foot. Bring your weight back onto your left leg and lift your right toes up. And then start to slide or scoot the right heel forward. If your mat's really sticky, you might have to lift your heel up just a little bit. Find your edge and pull back. You don't want to be right on that edge. Doesn't matter how far you get down. Listen to your legs. You might feel this stretch here in the back of that front leg. Maybe you feel it on the front of the back hip. Gently bend and straighten the knee. You can always use your blocks here. Under your hands on either side of the leg. You've got 3 heights on your blocks, so just find whichever one feels good for you. Move around a little bit. Moving in and out of the pose, bending and straightening the front knee. It brings your awareness to different parts of your legs that feel that stretch. If you want to go deeper into the pose, bend your elbows straight back, lowering down the chest over the front leg. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Slide or scoot the right heel back and send your right foot over to the left side of the mat, coming into pigeon pose. Drop that right knee down, peek back at the back leg. Make sure your back leg is pointing straight back. And then try to push this lower right leg, the lower front leg, towards coming in parallel with the short end of the mat. It doesn't need to be perfectly parallel. We're just reaching in that direction as opposed to having the knee pointing straight forward. Scoot that knee out and around to the side. Your knee should be a little bit outside of the hips here. Flex your right toes to protect the knee. Take a deep breath in, pushing your chest up. On your exhale, fold forward, walk your hands out, lowering down the chest over the front leg. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead. You can stretch your hands out in front of you. You can also find a block here under your forehead. Rest your forehead on the block if that feels good. Close your eyes. Take some nice, deep, strong breaths here. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Plant your hands on the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Left knee pops up. Inhale, lifting the right leg high. Open up your hip. Bend your knee back. You can bend and straighten that right leg a couple times. Drop your right knee down. Do some circles, getting to the hip here. Make sure you find circles going both ways. And then release your right foot back down to the mat. Coming into a down dog twist before we do the other side. Open up your feet, bringing the pinky toes to touch the outside edges of the mat. Walk your hands, one hand bring closer to the feet. Then reach your right hand out, grab onto the left leg, anywhere that feels good, ankle, calf, or thigh. And bring your gaze underneath your left arm. Check in with your hips. Sometimes they want to lean over to the left. Push them back to center, right between the feet. Release your right hand, look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat. And switch sides, left hand reaches out, grabs onto the right leg. Anywhere that feels good, ankle, calf, or thigh, whatever's right for you. Gaze comes under the right hand, check in with the hips, keeping those hips right between the feet. Release your left hand, look forward to set it back down, and then make your way back to your normal down dog. Walk your hands, one hand bring forward, bring your feet back together. Let's try that on the left. Left heel comes high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping the foot through between the hands, drop the right knee down to the mat, and rise up on an inhale to low lunge. You can always find your balance here with your hands on your knee to start. Low lunge is a balance challenge. It doesn't necessarily look like it, but it is. When you're ready, inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Take one more big breath in here. As you breathe out, twist around towards the left. Right hand drops across the left knee. The left arm is reaching back. Maybe it's lining up with the back leg. Maybe it's just reaching in that direction. On your next breath in, lift your hands back up to center. Exhale, release, planting your hands down, framing the front foot. Weight comes back onto the right leg to lift the left toes up. Slide or scoot the left heel forward. Might have to lift that heel up just a little bit. Coming towards the forward splits. You don't have to go down all the way. I can't get all the way down, that's okay. You can find your blocks here underneath your hands, or just plant your hands on the mat on either side of that leg. Gently bending, straightening the front knee. Notice how that stretch changes, where you feel it as you bend and straighten, moving in and out of the pose. If you want to go deeper, bend your elbows straight back, lower down the chest and the head, relax your head and neck. Inhale to lift the chest up. Slide or scoot that left heel back and send your left foot over to the right side of the mat for pigeon. Drop the left knee down. Pull the left knee out of the hips, outside, pushing that left lower leg, coming towards parallel with the front edge of the mat. You don't even have to be remotely close. It's just reaching in that direction. Flex your left toes, peek back. Make sure that right leg is pointing straight back. Push your chest out. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, walk the hands out, lowering down the chest over the front leg. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead. Have a block under your forehead, or just stretch your hands out in front of you. Close your eyes here. Focus on the breath. Taking nice, long, deep, full breaths. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Plant your hands on the mat. Tuck your right toes under. Right knee pops up off the mat. Inhale, lifting your left foot high. Open up the hip. Bend the knee back. Bend and straighten that left leg a couple times. And drop your knee down, doing some circles with the hip. And then find circles going the other way. And then release your left foot back down to the mat, downward facing dog. Let's do 3 sun salutations, going nice and slow, stretching our breath out. 1 breath to movement here. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in, bringing the torso parallel to the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing, bend your knees, roll your spine, let your arms dangle down until you lift your neck up, and then lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Straight back down. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, diving forward, nice long spine as you go down. Half lift to breathe in. Chaturanga as you breathe out. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank, upper push-up. Lower down halfway, knees up or down. Inhale to up dog or cobra on the tops of the feet. If your legs are on the ground, keep your elbows bent. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Second sun salutation. Bend your knees, lift your hands, deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale all the way to standing, bending the knees, stacking the vertebrae one at a time. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Back up to center as you breathe in, and to the left as you breathe out. Straight up to center, inhale. Standing back bend on your exhale, cactus the arms. You bring your hands to your back pockets. Back up to center, big breath in. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. Half lift to breathe in. Chaturanga on your breath out. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway. Don't go below the elbows. Coming to up dog or cobra on a breath in. Pulling the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, roll over the toes. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. One last sun salutation. This time we're going to do our side stretch, starting to the left first. Bend your knees, lift your hands, big breath in. Exhale, hop or step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. You can have your hands on your shins or float them over the ground. Folding forward as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale to standing, bend your knees, coming up nice and slow. Bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch, starting to the left first. Inhale, hands up. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Real gentle with the neck. Back up to breathe in. And forward fold as you breathe out. Half lift, breathing in. Pull the shoulders down the back, opening up the chest. Exhale, chaturanga, plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank or push up. Lower down halfway, bringing the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you. Inhale, coming onto the tops of the feet for up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. And let's do some balancing poses. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold on your breath out. All the way to standing on a breath in. Take your time coming up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's start with tree pose today for our balancing postures. If you are feeling at all wobbly, maybe you have a stuffy nose and your inner ear is a little bit off, you can always find a wall and float your hand on a wall. You don't even need to hold on to it the whole time, just to have it there for reassurance might feel good. Or you can find a table and grab onto that table. I'm going to mirror you, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all the way to your left foot. Right knee is pointing straight out to the side. 3 options for your foot here. You can keep the toes on the ground and set the sole of the foot on your ankle. You can raise your foot up so your heel comes in that little curve right underneath the knee. Make sure you don't push the knee joint in with your foot. You can also come above the knee, all the way up on the thigh. Wherever you are, find your leg balance to start. You can just work on the legs today, keeping your hands at your hips or bringing the hands to heart center. Or you can include the hands. Inhale, lift your hands up overhead. If you want a bit of a shoulder stretch here, you can wrap your hands back behind you and grab for opposite elbows. Pull your arms down, pull the shoulders back, opening up the chest. Release your arms, release your legs, shake it all out. And let's do the other side. Weight comes to the right foot. Left knee is pointing straight out to the side. Same options here, but your body might want a different option on this side. Keep the toes on the ground, set the sole of the foot on the ankle. Raise it up, bringing the heel right underneath the knee. Or come all the way up on the thigh, toes pointing straight down. Find your leg balance to start. Keep your hands on your hips, bring your hands to heart center, or include the hands as well. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Again, you can take that shoulder stretch if you like, wrapping your hands back behind you, grabbing for opposite elbows. Try to cross your arms the opposite way, the awkward way this time. Pull the shoulders down and back, opening up the chest. Release your arms, release your legs, shake it all out. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, diving forward, nice long spine, going down. Coming into a little open arm twist here. Bend your right knee, plant your right hand right underneath the face. Inhale, lifting your left arm up. Try to stack the shoulders. Bringing the arms as close as you can come to being perpendicular to the floor. It's okay if they're not perfectly perpendicular. Just reaching in that direction. If your neck feels okay, you can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release and switch sides. Plant your left hand right underneath the face. Bend your left knee. And inhale, lift the right arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side, stretching the right fingers up to the sky. One more breath in here. And release. Ragdoll pose. Grab for opposite elbows. Bend one knee and then the other. Take a little swing motion going on. Imagine you feel all the kinks falling right out of your spine through the top of the head into the ground. Release your hands down to the ground. Weight comes to the fingers to heel toe your feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing nice and slow. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Chair pose. You can have your big toes touching with some space between the heels, or you can bring your feet on two different train tracks right underneath the hips. Whichever one feels better is fine. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, sitting back into the chair. Push your hips down and back. Wiggle your toes. Make sure most of the weight's in the heels. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Feel the crown of your head, the very top of your head, stretching up towards the sky. We're going to stay here for 3 nice, long, full breaths. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, release into a forward fold. Half lift, breathing in, lifting up the chest. Fold forward as you breathe out. Bring weight to your fingertips to heel till your feet back out wide again and come back into ragdoll. This time crossing your arms the awkward way. Opposite of how you crossed them last time. Once again, bend one knee and then the other. Get a little swaying motion going on. Right in your spine, water falling down towards the ground. Release your hands down to the ground and heel till your feet out even wider. Toes out, heels in. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, sitting right down into your deep squat malasana. Bring your hands to heart center. Push your hips down towards the ground. You can open up your feet as much as you need to get your heels to touch the ground. Push your elbows out, pushing the knees out with the elbows. Stretching the spine up really long, feeling the crown of the head reaching towards the sky. And take one more big breath in, stretching your spine even longer. And as you breathe out, release to a seat. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips, and gently windshield wiggle the knees side to side, releasing any tension in the hips. Bring your legs out wide. Here again, we're not worried about what we look like. Just feel whatever is right for you, however wide those legs go, comfortably. That's where you want to be. Folding down in between the legs. Don't worry if you don't get very far. This one's really hard. Inhale, stretching the hands up. Exhale, folding forward in between the legs, trying to keep the spine really long. Once you find your edge, round out through the back, relax your head and neck down. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bend your left knee and bring the sole of the left foot right against the right inner thigh. Square off your hips towards your right foot. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, folding over the right leg, reaching for the foot. It's okay if you can't reach that foot. You can rest your hands on your leg or on the ground on either side of the leg. And then once you find your edge, relax your head and neck, rounding out through the back. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, and switch sides. Send your left leg back out to the side. Bend the right knee, bringing the sole of the right foot against the left inner thigh. Square off your hips towards your left foot. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, folding over the left leg, reaching for the foot. Find your edge, relax your head and neck down, round out through the back. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. And send both legs out long in front of you. Feet together. Push your knees down towards the mat, but make sure your heels are still touching the mat. Sometimes if you push your knees down too much, you'll notice your heels start to float above the mat. Gently release them so they're still touching. Flex your toes, bringing the toes towards the face. Plant your hands on either side of your hips and then rock side to side, tucking your thumbs underneath you just a little bit. Push down through the curve in the bottom of the palms, stretching the spine up really long. Crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Everything in your body should be really active here. Trying to keep everything else exactly where it is. Release your hands. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, folding over, reaching for the feet. Once again, you don't have to get all the way there. You can rest your hands on your legs or on either side of the legs on your mat. Relax your head and neck down. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips. Plant your feet on the mat, knees pointing towards the sky, and windshield wiper your legs side to side one more time. And then make your way onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting up your forehead to your knees, curling into a little ball, squeeze everything tight. Release your head back down to the mat. Keeping your right knee up to your chest, let your left leg slide back down to its spot on the mat, and then open out the right leg towards the right. Tuck your fingers inside the crease of the right knee to help the leg stay down. Left hand comes out to the side. Bring the gaze over to the left hand. On your next breath in, lift your knee up to center. Exhale, cross it over the body, dropping it down towards the left. Right arm reaches out to the side. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee to help it stay down, and bring the gaze to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Bring your right knee back up to your chest. Left knee comes to join it. Once again, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forehead comes up to the knees. Cannonball, squeeze everything tight. Release your head back down to the mat. Keeping the left knee up to the chest, let your right leg slide back down to its spot on the mat. And then open up the left leg towards the left. Try to find as close as you can to a 90-degree angle in the knee and the hip. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the knee. Right arm comes out. Bring the gaze to the right hand. On your next inhale, lift your knee up to center. Exhale, cross it over the body, dropping it down towards the right. You can tuck your right fingers inside the crease of the left knee to help it stay down. Left hand comes out to the side, gaze comes to the left hand. And release your right hand back out. Bring your left knee back up to your chest. Right knee comes to join it. Last time, wrap your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale, curling into a little ball, squeezing everything together. Release your head back down to the mat and make your way to Shavasana, our final resting posture. If there's any last pose you'd like to do that we didn't get to, you can take that now. Maybe a plow pose or a shoulder stand. Otherwise, just find the most comfortable laying down position you can. Any of those options we had at the beginning of class are fine. Just flat on your back or legs in easy pose. Lift up your heart, pull the shoulder blades down the back a little bit more. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. Close your eyes. Release your body. Let all the tension flow out of you. Imagine you're melting into the ground. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go as if they're little fishies swimming by you in a river. You see them, and then they swim away down the river and disappear to be replaced by something new. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you all so much for joining me today for yoga virtually.